And for my people that never used Underdog, if you're a first time user, you can get 100% of your deposit matched up to $100. So if you put in $100, you can get $200. Just use the code TFN. Just use the code TFN. Next, we have a fun team, the Chiefs.
Okay, Mahomes,
No, I agree with you. That's the only
Kelsey,
forget it for me.
Kelsey.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, definitely. Mahomes and Kelsey.
Um, Breakout. Oh, I feel like such a bandwagon guy, but
I know.
Scott Moore.
Yeah. No. Sky Moore has been the worst. Sky Moore has scored double digits once this year and has scored over 5 points only 2 times this year. That's how bad he's been. So anyone that thought Sky Moore was a breakout has swung and missed hard. I know damn now you wasn't gonna say no damn Rashee Rice. Talking about breaking
No,
the bandwagon. Talking about bandwagon.
bust,
I knew you wasn't gonna say that.
bust. He might be the bust though. Like this is not his year. Like he has to wait till they move on from Tony and MVS.
And I would say Rashee Rice is the only option outside of Mahomes and Kelsey that we have been able to start. I mean, other than Pacheco. You know, Pacheco has been a sit it and forget it, but Rashee Rice has been the only wide receiver we have been able to start and feel somewhat comfortable. Like because he's actually getting over double digits. You know, most of the time. Look, most of the time. Yeah, I think we're in lockstep. I would think it just seems like Sky Moore just set up to be the pleasant surprise. Believe
You know
me,
what?
he's not going to be
I'm a
worth
hold.
anything in Dynasty if he don't do anything. He's not going to be
I'm a
worth it.
hold. I'm a hold my nuts on this one. Tony is the breakout. Tony is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah,
And remember that I said this when he was injured.
yeah, you might want to release your nuts on that one because no, Tony has yet to give us double digits. You can find him on waiver wires. Unless you were super desperate and decided to give Tony another try and start him this past week, the rest of the time you'll find him on waiver wires because I think whoever decided to start him in redraft came to the realization that they would be never be able to count on Kadarius Toney. Rashee Rice is the clear, and you could have still picked him off of waiver wires probably a couple weeks ago. Like you could have still got that man off of waiver wire a couple of weeks. I think now he's rostered everywhere because he put together a few games of double digits, but he could have been had. But Kadarius Toney, proved to be nobody. I I don't know. Like someone, I think his value is a third round pick. I can't see anyone trading for him for a second round. Sky Moore might be worth the late second, but if you send somebody to trade, would they do it? Like he might be worth between the second round and the third round because you hope once Kadarius Toney maybe move on and you know that Kelsey getting over, maybe he might get it together, but most likely not. Most likely he's just a bust. You know, most likely he's just a bust. And from now on, if they coming from that school, and I'm not betting on anyone from West Michigan again. Not gonna do it. Not gonna be able to do it. Good luck with that one. And
Remember that.
believe me, I've been a man. I've been a Tony. I've been a man backing Tony for the longest. But I know he can't stay on the field. I know
Yeah,
he is Mr. Glass.
He don't
It
need
just is
to
what
though.
it is.
I don't think he needs to stay on the field to be a pleasant surprise for his ADP and his projected points, and mainly because like Andy Reid is so good. Like obviously Mahomes is great and Kelsey is great. Like I'm not taking nothing away from them guys, but they find themselves within that 10-yard mark, right? Like from 10 yards to score, like within that the green zone, they find themselves in there a lot, and it's so hard to score from there. And but they're so creative with the different gimmicks that they use for receivers to come all around on the end around, and like they'll do something in the game to see how defense responds to it, and they'll bring it up again in the green zone, but just like give them the same look but do something completely different. And Tony is like the perfect dude. Fucking Miko Hardman
Look,
was
bro,
going off
the problem
like
is
in that, right? Like
availability. That's the problem.
right, yeah, for sure. But I just think like he's the perfect guy to utilize for them.
And guess what?
And
If this was Madden and we could turn injuries off, I'll be all. A lot of people will be all for Tony. He'll probably be going in top 3, top 2 rounds, maybe
yeah,
top 3 rounds.
I'm
And
not doing all that. I think
Nah,
forget that. That man has been trash as far as fantasy production, just trash. You know, at least we felt good about him when he was on the field, but now you can't even get double digits out of him. You can't even get double digits out of the man, and the man has not been injured. Ridiculous.
I think right now redraft he's going in like round 11 or something ridiculous
I
like that.
mean, he dropped. I was drafting a lot of them before this injury happened. I mean, if we going with best ball theory, I really got to continue drafting him.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, and
Since
we're too reactive.
I have to continue drafting him to buy in on the dip. So since I already got so much shares of him. Now in Dynasty, I only have a few shares of him. So it's not, because the dude was a first round pick going in the second round. I had to pick him. Like, you will let him drop to me in the second round? I'm going to pick him. I'm sorry. It's just I got to.
Right. And a lot of times like we're too reactive in the fantasy community. Like we get some news, and that's the same thing I have with Jonathan Taylor. Like we get some news, and like he goes from being a French first round pick and redraft to a third. It's like, dog, like he's still talented, man. Like we can't let it go too far. And like once you get to a certain spot, okay, I'll put it like this. I think Tony will score more fantasy points than Sky Moore per game, and they're being drafted like similarly.
That doesn't bother me. I can see that. I can see that. I can see that having a possibility of happening.
Yeah,
but Tony is the type that really can. He is the true best ball player. Like I feel, if you get him in best ball, you should be fine with that. In the seasonal, he is gonna hurt your feelings because he have them single point games. He do have them. It is what it is. Like for some reason, they'll play him for like 5 series, and you don't see from him no more. You just don't know what's going on with this man.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But we agree on the bus on Rashee Rice, right?
You already know.
And I'll have to take the L here because I just didn't think Rashee would be ready this year. That was my thing. I think he would need more time, and who knows, he can easily pull a Kadarius Toney. It might semi-produce this year, and then next year, nothing. You just never know, But you can be optimistic that he'll continue to build on this because his skills was more so, after the catchability. Not like he had a great route tree. So if he continues to get better, anything's possible. I did feel like he was overdrafted by the Chiefs. but they got a habit of doing that. They seem to overdraft their skilled players, and they don't end up panning out like they should. But as I said previous, he's been a serviceable start in your flex.
I just I just can't bet on him, you know. Matter of fact, somebody just brought him up on Twitter, and I was like, yeah, okay. Like, you know,
Yeah.
and because there was like, it was naming all this good stuff, and I was like, bro, it sounds like you naming all this because of his spot. So how about you just let me know where you had him ranked at pre-draft? Since you saying all this good stuff and what he could be, because it sounds like
Exactly.
it's about landing spot. So let me know
All
what
right.
you had pre-draft. If you ain't had him where you had him pre-draft, don't try to hype him up now. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely has been an interesting season thus far for the Chiefs. Feel just like last year, you know. Count on Mahomes and count on Kelsey, and everybody else is conflict. But Pacheco has been consistent. McKinnon has been not doing anything, but Pacheco been getting all the work. So anyone that drafted Pacheco, you definitely feel good. He'll be giving you the production, even catching passes. Kelsey hasn't been as dominant in prior seasons, so but he just killed it this past week. He just killed it. Man, if you played against Kelsey, you felt sick. And I had Kelsey and Mahomes on a few teams, and I was loving it. Loving it. But I think Kelsey won't be drafted in the first round next year. I think he definitely would go down, take a hit, and people might be scared off by his age. I think next year is definitely the year to hold on tight ends. You probably won't have to go late round tight ends. You probably can bet on the middle round tight end. I don't do late round tight end, but they probably would be the year to go middle round tight end and not go early round tight end. You know, but I don't. You know, this was the year to do the late round tight end because you had all those decent rookies come in, and you could have patched something together. And a lot of people was able to get Laporta off the waiver wires. Like, you know, a lot of people was able to get either draft them late or got them off waiver wires. So this was the year for that. But anyway, peace.